I've locked myself in the bathroom night after night crying.
You don't really know what someone is capable of.
You just have to hope that this fixation has gone away.
He walked out of the prison within 2 hours, called me straight away.
I wish I had realised at that age what was happening.
The police said to me in one of his interviews, he quoted, "I'm going to break her." You're not going to break me, you can't.
Hi, I'm Zara McDermott, and you can watch my new documentary, To Catch A Stalker, on iPlayer. Today, I'm reuniting with two of the women we featured in the documentary and carrying on the conversation about stalking. Jen and Liv have both been targeted by stalkers.
I was waking up to loads of messages. He was standing completely naked.
You're just so bad.
Liv, you're a slut. Liv, you're a whore. Liv, you're a fat slut.
This has been happening since I was 15.
Should we talk a bit about what it's been like filming this documentary? Because can I just say I have so much respect and love and adoration for both of you, and the fact that I can't even imagine how difficult it is to share your stories, because you're not just sharing your stories from the past, you're sharing your stories from the present and from the now. These are ongoing cases, and I can imagine that there was a lot of anxiety before stepping in front of the camera for the first time and meeting me and talking about what you've been through.
I remember feeling really, really nervous because, again, it was the blame game. And I thought, OK, so if I do this and it goes on the TV, he's going to think I'm giving him attention. And I thought, what if he sees it and thinks, oh, well, she's talking about me, so she's interested. It was a really big decision to make where I had to take the power back and say, actually, that's just a way of thinking because I've been a victim.
They try to take away the control from your life, but this is the thing that we have been able to control, is this documentary.
I think it was really, really good to share my story. I felt a lot stronger when I was talking about it because the reaction that I was getting from yourself or anybody else justified why I was so scared at the time. I would never imagine that I'd stand on the TV and make a documentary and talk about what he's done to me and tell everybody how I've locked myself in the bathroom night after night crying with my cats. I'm a 35-year-old woman. I wouldn't want anybody to know that about me, but I've bared all, I've showed it all, and it's going to help somebody.
When I first met you, you were very fearful and you were also full of self-blame. You know that you were never to blame.
No.
And I think you knew it deep down, but there was part of you that was always thinking, did I cause this?
Yeah.
Did I do something?
Yeah.
Did I say something?
It affected my personality because the way I was, I've always been really bubbly and chatty and I'll talk to anybody. When he came in as a candidate, I've greeted him, I've been, nice enough. After that, I backtracked all the time and I was thinking, was it the way I stood up from my desk? Was it the way I went over? Did I have a smile on my face? Did I look like too friendly? And it completely changed the way that I approach people, to the point where at work my desk was put right at the back of the room. The light was off above my head. They'd made it into the darkest corner they could, and if anybody came in the door, I didn't get up, I didn't go anywhere near. To be fair, that wasn't the end of it. They put locks on the door so that people couldn't walk in and it wouldn't give me that fear. Whereas before I was on the reception talking to everybody and just doing my job. So I think it made me think about the way that I learned something as well, that if you're smiling at a stranger, they think that they can talk to you. It's approachable. So it's things like that I've learned. Don't do it. Don't make any eye contact with anybody and don't smile at them because they're probably going to get the wrong idea. And that really, really ate me up for a long, long time. Now, 3 years down the line and doing this and doing everything that I can to help other people, I definitely realise it's not me. It was him and it is him, and as long as he can get help, it won't happen to anybody else.
Liv, how has your experience shaped you?
I think like what you were just saying, I think it really does make you overly cautious of how you are coming across to people that you don't know, but also people that you do know. And I think it's also, you never really know what someone's capable of. Like, I think when I'm doubting my friends, and I would love to say that I trust every single one of them, but you don't really know what someone is capable of and what they do behind closed doors.
I think there's maybe older generations that may not fully understand the impact of online stalking and how debilitating that can be?
Yeah, so whenever I'm speaking to the older generation mainly, the first question that they'll say, or the first thing that they'll say, they'll be like, I really don't understand what you mean by like usernames adding you with this account name. Like they can't quite understand what my harassment looks like. And I think that's why I think something like this is so important, because hopefully people can watch this and actually understand that, because even though I'm not being physically harmed, the emotional drain that it takes on you can, like, cyberstalking can do that to you. And yeah, it does just come from a lack of understanding around how it presents. And I think that I found that with the police as well. The police don't really understand. So I've dealt with 3 separate officers, and every officer that I've dealt with, I have had a completely different experience. And the last officer, the officer that's taken me seriously and the officer that has given me hope, was a female. And I think, I think there may be reason behind that. I do think she understood me on a different level to when I dealt with male officers. And I know that's a harsh thing to say. I might be incorrect in saying that, but it really did feel like when I had a woman officer, she listened to me and she took me seriously, probably because she could understand and get on the same level as me.
Was it easy for you, Liv, to open up to your friends and family about what's been going on?
I have an amazing support system, and my friends and my family are so good. But I do find it hard talking to them because they don't understand. They haven't been through it. It's not. They can say that they understand, but really, I'm not sure that they fully do. The emotional toll that it does take on you. But they're there. They support me, and that's all I can ask for. I would never want them to fully understand.
And Jen, in the documentary, obviously I met your lovely sister, and she is so amazing and protective of you. But you found it quite hard to open up to her initially, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't tell her. I didn't tell anybody in my family because I had this fear that I was going to be followed to, first of all, my grandma's house, because visiting her and things like that. And I did think he was going to follow me there. I stopped going round for a while because I didn't want to be followed. My friends at work knew, and they were very supportive. But still, and this is no discredit to anybody, but it was because it was such a, oh my God, this is like Netflix. It was more of a point of interest rather than a support, if that makes sense. My family were good when they knew, absolutely brilliant, but it's made them really nervous. My mum fears that by, let's say, taking part in the documentary that we've been making, that it would make her then another target for him to find me. I mean, he contacted, as you know, he found my stepbrother, doesn't share the same last name as me. We never even grew up together, and he found him. So they just don't really want to risk being affiliated to get found, if that makes sense.
This crime is such an isolating crime for the victims, isn't it?
If you're going for a breakup, you can ring everybody and you know that you're going to be sad, but what can you do in this situation? I could just sit there and cry, and the problem is, like with anything, if you don't have any support, it will get worse.
What's happened and what have been the updates since we finished filming?
So since filming, we have had an update to say that he's going to be coming out of the mental health unit, and they will be moving him back up to the Midlands. And that means, like I say, he's on the border to where I live, it makes me really nervous, but I've come so far and I'm so strong and my life is just so much more together, whereby I don't feel he could affect me and rock the boat as heavily anymore. But yeah, he's going to be coming back, and the date he'll have his tag removed will be October. So in October, he's essentially going to be a free man, can do what he wants.
How does that feel for you?
Crap. It feels really, really, really unfair, because we know he's very attached to doing what he's doing, and I don't want to sound negative, but I think it might carry on, and it worries me. It does worry me.
You said he's gone to prison before and come out and done it again and then gone back. Yeah.
He went in once and he was released, and he walked out of the prison within 2 hours, got a phone, called me, just brought a new phone, got a SIM card, called me straight away, said it's me, hello. So he doesn't care.
You just have to hope that this fixation has gone away.
Yeah.
All you can do at this point is stand in your power and don't let this ruin your life and continue to ruin your life. Don't let this stranger continue to have a hold on how you're going to live your life.
100%. I remember the police said to me in one of his interviews, he quoted, "I'm going to break her." And I think that's put so much fire underneath me. I'm like, you're not going to break me, you can't.
Liv, you were 15 when the stalking started. Can you tell me about what it was like trying to understand and unpick that and going through that at that time in your life, such a young age?
I'm not sure I really did understand. I really wasn't aware of what was happening. I think this sounds really, really awful. And like what you were saying earlier about blaming yourself, I think when I was 15, it was almost like an exciting thing because I was having these ads and I was like, oh, someone's into me, you know, like it was my first sort of male attention. And then as I got older, I became more sickened at the fact that that was how I thought. And I think, I did blame myself. I wish I had realised at that age what was happening because maybe it wouldn't still be going on. Maybe I could have gone to school and they could have stopped it. I didn't really realise I was getting stalked until like 2022, really. I didn't really understand. I was like, oh, well, I'm not getting physically harmed. Like, there's just someone that's a bit obsessed with me. Like, it's fine. Back then, I was so oblivious to it, which is scary because how many other children are oblivious to what's going on to them? How many other people are at that age not understanding what's happening and therefore just dealing with it without having to by themselves? More information around cyberstalking needs to be out there.
Yeah, just the fact that we've been through what we've been through, it's terrible and it is rubbish, but there's so many people that don't have to go through it.
I think if this information gets into schools early enough as well, like not only will it help the victims, but potentially could stop a stalker in the future. Like growing up, if a child who has the potential to stalk or harass someone when they are older, if they see this information from a younger age, maybe it can just plant that seed in their head that stops them from displaying that behaviour when they grow up.
We need to get people at a younger age because they're on social media and teach them that no means I'm not interested. When you're watching films and stuff, it's like, oh, it's really romantic to stand outside the window for hours and hours. And, you know, we were brought up on that kind of Disney movie or whatever, and it's not romantic. You can't break somebody down by standing there forever. If somebody's not interested, they're not interested. And I think that really does come into it. Like when you said about the older generation, they're like, oh, it's charming, and, you know, oh, they're wooing you, and it's like they're not, and it's not charming.
And what advice would you give to other victims or anyone who's going through this themselves?
Speak to someone, speak to anyone, speak to everyone, whoever you can. Just speak up about your situation. Don't let anyone tell you that you're being dramatic. Don't let anyone tell you that you're overreacting. And I really did not think Snapchat ads adding me was ever a good enough reason to go to the police. But it is. And I went again, and I didn't give up. And hopefully now I will get the outcome that I want.
I think my advice is not just to the stalker, but to people around. So let's say if you notice your friend is constantly talking about somebody, or maybe they are messaging them all the time and they're telling you that they're really, really interested, but you know that they're not getting it back. I think that's a time when you can be aware of what's happening and probably step in and talk to your friend or family if somebody is displaying that behaviour. I think that that's a big thing personally, because a lot of people, I know in my life there's been people where I'm thinking, you want to get back with them, or, you know, you've been trying now for a couple of months, it's not going anywhere. And actually I could have sat down with them knowing now and saying, edging on stalking somebody, actually. Nobody would say that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it as well. It's not just about being able to support someone who's going through it, but someone who's displaying those behaviours, being able to call out your friends. And that's something that I think sits across the board with all of these kinds of behaviours, not just stalking, whatever it is. Calling out your friends for their behaviour is so important. We need to hold each other accountable because you never know where that behaviour can end up.
Yeah, personally as well, for a victim, I think the moment you get that feeling, that shock through your body feeling, a little bit uncomfortable and like it just gives you this little lump in your throat. And that feeling is actually something you need to act on because it's not right.
I suppose something you can do practically is evidence gathering. I have had some harassment online, and there has been in the past times where I've deleted things because I just don't want to see it. Obviously, in both of your cases, this has developed and gone a lot further.
I mean, I have an album on my phone that's literally labelled police, and it's got...
I've got one, stalker.
Have you?
I swear, same. Every bit of evidence.
Having that on your phone, like every time you go onto a camera roll and having to see that album. And
so how important is it for you to keep hold of that evidence where you can?
Yeah, massively. I think for me, I didn't start collecting evidence until 2023. I mean, by that point, it had been going on for 7 years already. So there are 7 years that I don't have any evidence for. So just take screenshots if it's online, keep what you can, because it really is important when you go to the police, when you finally do. They need all the evidence that you have. However big, however small, it's better to have it than to not have it. So as soon as you realise what's going on to you, keep the evidence, make that folder. I know you shouldn't have to be the one to collect your own evidence and do your own investigation, but just do it because it will make your life so much easier when you have everything all in one place. And
if it feels weird, take a screenshot, send it to your friends, let them tell you if it feels weird, and it's going to be there then. You can come back to it if something happens.
Liv, you mentioned that this is the first time you've met someone who has also been through their own experience. Obviously, you two haven't met. I've been filming with you separately. So what's that been like today to feel that kind of unity in your experiences?
So glad.
Yeah,
I really am. As soon
absolutely.
as you walked in, I was like, oh, God. Like, I don't know exactly what Liv's been through. I do now. I didn't know when I met her, but I just felt such a familiarity when I saw you because we both experienced something.
Yeah, like I didn't need to know all of your details to immediately feel like that understanding. And yeah, it's so nice to not feel alone.
Yeah, I hope you feel proud of yourself and how open you've been able to be through this process, because it's not easy.
I think you guys have given us the space to be able to be our full, authentic, vulnerable selves.
Yeah.
And like on the first day of filming, I was terrified, but after meeting you and having that conversation, like you gave me the courage to go back to the police, and you gave me the courage to do something that now I have hope that will get sorted out. It's been the most beneficial thing for me, and like I will be grateful for forever.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming today. It's been so lovely to catch up with both of you, and thank you so much for being a part of this documentary, and I really hope that it educates a lot of people and makes some changes.
Yeah, and thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
No,
everything.
thank you. You don't need to thank me. For more information, help and support, visit bbc.co.uk/actionline. You can also watch To Catch A Stalker on BBC iPlayer now.